Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us for this free group balance for dogs. I know there's lots of people joining from across the globe. So if you can, if you're joining live, write where you're joining from, write your dog's name and your dog's breed, and also write what you'd like to get from this session. So, maybe what kind of inspired you to join the session, or if you're wanting a particular outcome for your dog. For some reason, it's showing your video. I think it's picking up audio from your video. All right. Okay.
Hello, hi Melia, it's Liz.
Hi, Liz. I'm just muting everyone. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, if you could, so I'm just starting. So anyone that's just joined us, right, where you're joining from. I know you're joining from my neighbor, my neighbor.
So you want me
ready?
to say done speaking? Should I be quiet?
I just put mute, but I'm gonna
All right,
mute for everyone again anyway, because there's
cool.
new people entering.
Righto.
Okay.
I'm not sure how to do it, but that's okay. I'll figure it out.
Mute all. I'm doing
I can see you.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a couple of new people. Write the name of your dog, write where you're joining from, write your dog's breed, and any intention that you'd like from this session. And Andrew's monitoring the chat, so he's going to keep an eye on that. And because we're a really big group today, we're got a lot of people that are going to be joining us through listening to the recording later on as well. So just know that I'm taking everyone into account when I'm doing the session, whether you're joining me live right now or whether you're tuning in later on. So with Body Talk, we do use trained intuitive components where I'm able to connect to the collective and tune into the energy of you and all of your dogs. So all of you that have registered are being taken into account. So if you haven't met me before, I'm Melia Brent-White from Melia Inner Equilibrium, and we're on our farm here, which is called a Marvi farm. We've got Raj and Andrew joining here, and Raj has been following me around all morning, waiting for this session. So I'm a Body Talk practitioner for the past 12 years, and it was animals that originally brought me to Body Talk. I took my first self-care course for Body Talk for people and animals in 2012. Also a Helio Soul practitioner, licensed therapist, and Helio Soul for Animals licensed therapist, as well as Reiki 3, lots of different modalities. But today I'll be predominantly using the Body Talk system and maybe some Helio Soul as well, to help provide more balance to your dogs and also yourself. So we're tuning into everyone across the world. Body Talk is an energy healing modality, so we're able to connect with each other through time and space, no matter where you are in the world. The recording is going to be available for 2 weeks after this session. So if you feel like listening to the session again, you're welcome to listen to that, and then it will be deleted. So Body Talk, it's a balancing system. We're looking at balancing body, mind, spirit, and particularly for dogs, we're looking at the wider family, the wider environment, including yourself as a person. Like, it is a consciousness-based healing modality. And because dogs are domesticated animals that are really closely entwined into our families, into our hearts, their health and their balance is deeply entwined with ours. All right, so if everyone, as I said before, write up your intention if you haven't already. We've got, I'm just going to quickly have a look at the chat. So hi, Liam. Got Dexter and Dougal joining from Quaramut with Jackie, Jan and Digby from Broadwater. Jan was the first one to tune in this morning. Got Amber and Chinook from Canada. Hi, Amber. Cassidy from Burnaby in British Columbia. And yeah, this session's open to people even if you don't have a dog, if you just love dogs, if you're wanting to learn from the dog consciousness, you're welcome to join as well. And Cassidy's a body talk practitioner as well. Retriever and border mixed collie and retriever border collie from Jackie. Hey, Chelsea with Zola from Dunsborough. We've got Raji here on the couch. He's a bull terrier cross. Hi, Asta, Philippa. She's a rescue and a Jack Russell. All right, and we've got dogs joining us in spirit as well. So if there's any other dogs that have passed over in the past, I know I've got my beautiful Tiki who I lost 2 years ago. They're welcome to join as well. So if you feel like naming those animals that you've had previously, you can pop them in the chat. And we've got Sheila with her dogs in spirit joining us from Canada. And everyone's anxious, Jackie's saying. We've got Chloe from Capel. Sheila's in Canada. Alicia. Okay, so how was this free group balance inspired? Well, pretty sure Raj requested it, but Alicia and her beautiful dog Charlie, and Charlie has come in as like the grandpappy for this session. We're going to be resourcing Charlie. I've been working with Charlie for a long time with Body Talk, and this was a special request from Charlie. So a big thank you to Charlie, who is wanting a gentle, easeful, joyful flow. So Charlie is kind of like overseeing everything that we're doing here, and he did request and prompt this session, and I know that he's been working behind the scenes helping to organize all of you to sign up as well. So a big thank you to Charlie. And we've got Liz with Chico. Okay, so I can't go through everyone. Kate, hey Kate. Kate's joining us from California. And Anne-Marie and Tara from Dunsborough. Fiona. Hey Fiona, she's in Bustleton with 3 dogs. Claudia with Chief. Hi Claudia in Victoria. Barb's joining with Zebedee in Dunsborough. Okay, who have I missed, Andrew? Have I missed anyone there? I think that's everyone at the moment. Wilbur, yeah, I did say hi to Jackie, yeah. Yeah, and then everyone else that's joining us for the recording, hello and welcome, and we're taking you into account as well. So I'm going to get started with the balance. So in your place at home with your dogs may be near you. Just try not to touch them while we're doing the balance. If they need to go outside or go to the toilet or have a drink of water, they're welcome to do that. Just let them move around. So taking some big deep breaths, breathing in, and a big long exhale. Might be morning for some people and it might be evening. Wherever you are in the world, allowing yourself to settle into this present moment with your breath. Another big deep breath in your own time. Another big long exhale, softening and relaxing into this present moment. Taking a few big exploratory breaths, again with that big long sighing exhale. Settling into your body, allowing the mind to settle, to drop. Just bringing all of your attention and your awareness as we open up this space for our dogs and for ourselves to find more harmony and balance inside and out. connected with the dog consciousness just before everyone joined me on the call. The dogs came in as a big doggy collective, a bit like being at a mass dog park. So you might want to imagine that yourself as well, being surrounded by all these dogs of all ages, dogs in spirit as well, wagging their tails, sniffing each other. There were some puppies in the mix there as well. And just also, regardless of your beliefs, just bringing to mind the concept of reincarnation, like perhaps there's a connection through space and time that have brought you and your beloved dog together, and that connection is unending, and there's a connection that's occurring at all times, even if a dog has passed over in body. So when I originally organized this session, I did get the feeling that we were going to be working quite a bit with grief and loss and helping all of us humans deal with the different emotions that come up as part of having a dog in your life. And the fact that a dog's life tends to be shorter than our life, and that can bring up a lot of different things for us as a dog custodian. And just trying to do a little bit of wind mitigation because the wind popped up when I started speaking. Thanks, Andrew. So we're looking at all of these different emotions that come up as part of our relationship with dogs, looking at all these beautiful emotions like love and joy and connection. And you might want to write some of those emotions that you've experienced in the chat to do with your relationship with your dogs, or those beautiful positive emotions. And we're also looking at all of the challenging emotions that pop up that might weigh us down and add a little bit of density to our system, including particularly worry. So even when I was making myself a cup of tea this morning, I was receiving information from the dog collective around worry. So when we're worried about the dog's health, when we're worried about their happiness, worried that they're getting enough exercise, worried about their role in our life. And I'm seeing a couple of people nodding here. So, you know, there's aspects here that we all share as like with having these beautiful dog beings in our life. And then there's also like perhaps fear around their health, fear, you know, can also be fear to do with having a reactive dog. I know we've got Raj, who's a bit reactive with other dogs, and I've definitely felt that myself personally as well, although he's very good with other farm animals, but sometimes dogs don't get along that well with other dogs or other animals as well. We might experience grief when there's loss, or grief when there's loss of a dog's mobility. Perhaps they've had a operation and they might not be able to experience life the same as they were experiencing before. So if there's any of these that resonate and you feel like putting them in the chat, you're welcome. Hope particularly to do with you know, when we take them to the vet, we're hoping for a better outcome for their health, or perhaps even when you're looking at complementary therapies or hoping for a change. I know sometimes we're hoping that they live a longer life, but we might have just the time that we have with them when they're ready to pass over. There might be despair in that as well, you know, when as the opposite side of hope. And there can be, you know, a feeling of having lost a part of yourself, a part of your heart when they have passed over. Or perhaps there's been a relationship separation where the dog's gone to live with someone else. I know I've experienced that personally when a relationship broke up. And so the dogs would like to help us realize that this connection is not lost, even when the body is not functional anymore, when they've died or when they've passed over. This part of this session is to do with realizing that they're not lost. So we're also going to be focusing on the dog's bodies and the bones and the skeleton. We're looking at strengthening your dog's DNA to help the bodies. We've just had Pluto in Capricorn, which has just changed into Aquarius 4 days ago. So the Pluto in Capricorn area energy that was influencing us since 2008 was really, really heavy on the bones and the skeleton and the joints. And I have a feeling that, yeah, I'm getting a nod from Fiona. It's been impacting our dogs, not just us. We might be feeling it in our bones and our joints, but our dogs have also been feeling it. So we want to give them a little help out, because we're going to, we're in Pluto in Aquarius now, and that's a new 40-year cycle. That's going to influence other parts of the body, but we're just going to help the mop-up job from the Pluto in Capricorn hangover. We're also looking at assisting your dog's bodies from the food that is kind of currently available for your dogs, so helping them optimize their digestion and get more energy from the food. Looking at any weakness that's come from the food, as well as like weakness from medicine or treatment or emotional holding on to or processing. And we're going to help you as dog lovers or dog custodians to be more in the present moment and to enjoy every moment of your dog's life, regardless of how long that is. We're also looking at balancing the play and energy levels, as well as a connection with your brain and your dog's brains to do with telepathy. So dogs and animals, they're always communicating to us. The consciousness of the world around us, the wind, the plants, the trees, the land, the animals, everything is in communication at all times, whether we're aware of it or not. We're a part of a living dynamic system. And yet your cats can tune in. Some cats might have been dogs in past lives. So this is this is open to all beings that might resonate with the dog consciousness. So Amanda was saying, let's hear. So the dog, yeah, you've got cats with advanced arthritis. Yeah, exactly. The cats can join in. So looking at Amanda's comment here, and Amanda's recently had an injury with her skeleton as well. Yes, and Alicia, who's got Charlie, has said she knows now why Charlie's organised this. He's the master telepathic trainer of humans. Yes, he is. He's trained me. Fiona is also a very talented animal communicator, as are other people on the call. We're all getting trained together. So some of us have some of these skills already. Some of them, it might be completely new. It might be, your brain might be exploding, going, what's she talking about? But we're all a part of this living system. We're all connected, and this is what we're connecting to in this system. So there's a part of our brain around the crown and the brow area, and this connects to our telepathic and sixth sense abilities. And we all experience this in different ways. So I know for me personally, I am more someone that feels things and senses things. That's known as clairsentience, claircognizance, but you might be more seeing pictures, like clairvoyance. It might be clairaudience, hearing things. It might be tasting things, smelling things. So we all experience this subtle information in different ways. And we're helping to communicate to that. Often the dogs, they might send mine pictures, or it might be a song. I know when Tiki passed over, my little Tiki, she sent me all these songs after she passed. And they were all like early 2000s dance music songs. I couldn't believe her taste in music, which was so similar to mine. And she also sent me the black white-tailed cockatoos. We've got both the red tails and the white tails here. But the white tails, every day after she passed, every time I walked outside the house, they were outside the house and they would swoop in front of me and she would send me feathers. So there is this connection component that occurs even after our beloved dogs are not with us anymore. And really, it's a matter of paying attention. It's about our consciousness and what we're paying attention to. So we want to optimize that because we've all got it. And it's about learning to use what you've got. So I'm going to start the session with body talk. This is the body talk system chart. I'll be using a form of muscle checking. I'll be doing that on myself on behalf of the collective. And I'm asking the question, what's keeping the system, which is us collectively, from balancing itself? So the language I'll be using will perhaps be referring to an individual. I might talk about a heart, but I'm talking about our collective heart, including yours, not just your dog's. This is, I said it was for dogs, but actually it's for humans and the dogs. It's for us combined. So we're working with a focus on harmony and harmonization. That's the main focus of this balance. Okay, so the first thing that's coming up is a permission statement, and we're going to be working with giving ourselves as humans permission to sense, permission to feel. I give myself permission to feel. Now, we're living in a world where it might not necessarily be safe to feel all the time. So you can sense into when it's safe to open up and to be more open, and when it's safe when perhaps you need to close your system down as well. But for the sake of this balance, we'll be using the words, I give myself permission to feel. We're going to be tapping this out, so your fingers spread out wide. You're going to tap over the top of the head, over the center line, tapping over the head, taking a big deep breath in and out. And if it doesn't feel right to tap over the head, you can tap above the head and say out loud a number of times, I give myself permission to feel. I give myself permission to feel. And taking big deep breaths while you're doing the process. And now we're going to tap over the heart, anywhere up and down the sternum. I give myself permission to feel. And then tapping over the navel. And we'll say it another time, taking big deep breaths. I give myself permission to feel. Okay, and when you're ready, you can pause the tapping and relax. We're going to go to the natural consciousness of all animals, and particularly dogs are wonderful for this. It's living in the present moment. And you might want to tune into your body and your mind and just assess how in the present moment you feel. Is the mind tugging you into the future, or is it tugging you into the past? We're going to help your consciousness anchor into this present moment, which is the only moment that we ever really need to be connected with. And the dogs are helping us do that, and we're helping them anchor to the present moment as well. We're also going to include in that the 5 senses, which is touch, taste, smell, hearing, and sight, as well as the subtle senses that I was talking about before. And with dogs, they've got senses through their whiskers and their heightened sense of smell, their hearing, particularly things that we're not that sensitive about. Perhaps fireworks can really upset a lot of dogs, gunshots, stuff like that. We're also looking at the hair and the coat, sensory perception, perhaps the claws and the pads of their feet, so they're feeling into the earth energy. They might be sensitive to chemicals as well that are in the environment. The tail, scent glands, and the vomeronasal organ, which ties in with sexuality and that like smelling the different scents, reproduction, feeding, and survival. So we're looking at our senses and the dog's 5 senses. I'm going to anchor that to individuation in the heart center so our heart and soul can decide what needs to be balanced in regards to that. And we're going to the thymus, which is in the upper chest area here. And the thymus is an endocrine above the heart center. And particularly for dogs, so they've got it in the front of their chest area there. And dogs and horses, it's part of their energetic signature, kind of how they talk to each other and shining their light. I know particularly like with stallions, they've got this area here that just radiates, and that's when you see a horse and you're just like, wow, the presence. And sometimes you see that in dogs, and I'm sure we use that as a sensing system between each other as humans as well. So we're looking at the health of our thymus and that health of our energy signature related to that higher heart chakra area. We're sourcing the color turquoise. And turquoise is a color that is associated with that thymus area. The thymus is linked in with our immune system as well. And turquoise relates to happiness, peace, love, loneliness, compassion, insecure, disconnected, sullen, anxious, fear, nurturing, tranquil, and empathy. So the color itself is neutral. Our bodies will take what's needed from that color frequency to help our system find more balance. And then we're also looking at immune function and the connection between our thymus and the thymus of our dogs. So that heart connection that we were talking about before. And we're just wanting to shave this connection between the thymuses. So there's this energy connection, an energy cord between us. And when I'm shaving it, I'm relieving the dog and even yourself of any projection that's going on between you. So any beliefs that you have about each other that might be weighing a little bit heavy on each other's system. So sometimes we see our idea of another individual, who we think they are, rather than actually who they are. So we're also wanting to bring in an I see you, which is being able to recognize the conscious sentience of each other in relationship to each other. So rather than it being a dog and a person, it's like seeing each other as sentient beings. So what this does is it just lightens the load between you. It makes the relationship lighter. In order to inject some more energy into your relationship, and when I say energy, it might not necessarily translate to like laughter or joy or even more kind of border collie type energy. It's like energetic vibrational shift to raise the energy of your system to a more buoyant state. I'm going to go to something else now, so I'll just identify what it is. I'm going to go now to the skeleton and the joints. And we're doing a circulation plug-in, which is the blood, the nerve, and the lymph, bringing all the different resources. Alicia's saying the birds are joining. Thanks, Alicia. I've got a lot of insects here, a lot of insects paying attention to what we're going on, as well as the wind interacting quite a lot here. So the skeletons and the joints, we're looking at the different resources, the blood, the nerve, and the lymph that are supplying the body, providing nourishment with the blood, communication with the nerves, and cleansing with the lymph. And we're wanting to increase articulation within all of the joints of the dog's bodies. And we're looking at, so some joints are ball and socket joints where they've got the synovial fluid, and some are articular joints. Hi, you got some, you can see your doggy. Hey, Jackie, hello. We've got some articular joints, which is like the sacroiliac joint. So I'm looking at the freedom of joint movement. And like if the synovial fluid in the ball and socket joints is getting a little bit sticky or a bit kind of too viscous, we're wanting to expand the cushioning that's occurring with those joints, improve the quality of articulation. So remember, every single joint is moving different ways, and yeah, dogs with their paws, they've got the little tiny bones, you know, that we've got, like our fingers, the wrists. So all the different joints move in different ways. Now we're going to hydration. We're looking at hydration of the pituitary gland, which is in the body. And the pituitary is the master conductor of the endocrine system. It helps to regulate all of the endocrines, you know, relating to the thyroid, the thymus, the pancreas, the sexual organs, as well as the adrenals. We're updating the pituitary to any neutering that has occurred if your dogs have been desexed. So it's like we're just kind of, when we remove body parts, sometimes the body hasn't necessarily recognized that that body part's been removed. In this case, we're updating the system to that. And we bring hydration to the pituitary to help optimize the endocrine function. And we're looking at the energetic component of the pituitary, which is to do with the third eye. So that's our ability to perhaps see a bigger picture, to see things in perspective. That can relate to clairvoyance abilities and the telepathy component I was talking about before. We're going to get the pituitary to reevaluate its function within the body. looking at the different circulation, defragging, recontextualizing, reorientation, providing retrospection, integration, and introspection. And this is to do with creating a harmonic balance around your role in your dog's life, your dog's role in your life, and just about what life's about in general. Like what is it? What is it all about? So we can have a bit of a paradigm shift here with the pituitary, put things in perspective. I know this time of year with Christmas, it might be quite easy to lose perspective, especially when there's might be a lot of stress and pressure as we get an acceleration of time, perhaps shopping pressure, pressure from family. So we're wanting to simplify things right down, and you can imagine your beautiful dog's face and perhaps take a moment to think about looking at life through your dog's eyes and simplifying life, and then identifying what is important in life and perhaps what is important for your dog as well. And now we're linking through to the nervous system. And it's going to take me further into the brain. Going to the limbic brain. So we're going to the hypothalamus. And the hypothalamus and the pituitary are very connected. So the pituitary is hanging down like a little rape from the hypothalamus within the brain. And then this connects to the hypothalamus, the pituitary, and the adrenals, what's known as the HPA axis. So this is our stress response system. And we're looking at that little stem of the grape between the pituitary and the hypothalamus, known as the infundibulum. And we're assessing the interpretation of sensory impulses and the control and the integration of the autonomic nervous system. So this is all about how our systems go from a heightened state of awareness, more flight and fight, into rest and relax, into parasympathetic nervous system. So our systems are designed to regulate. The same with our dogs, you know, they can become heightened and then they can go back into rest and relax. What's happening with a lot of human bodies is the human bodies are forgetting to go into that rest and digest state. And the dogs are wanting to help us to down regulate because they often feel into our energy state. This is why. And I did get Tara's in total rest and relax, Anne-Marie says. Yes, okay. Light bulb moment. I can see what this is all about. So when I was tuning in before, I was talking about the digestion. This is to help the dog's digestion systems as well as our own in order for them to optimize the chi and the energy that they're receiving from the food that they're getting, as well as, you know, what we're digesting in life. So we're just tuning in here into Charlie. And Charlie is in his senior years, and he's walking the path between the worlds that comes to all of us in life. So I'm just resourcing Charlie as a satellite here and just seeing what information we need just to oversee this whole session. We're looking at the wisdom of age, and you might have known if you've got a dog that's gone into old age, how they change, how their behavior might change, hi Charlie. We've got Charlie. You can see Charlie on the screen there with his beautiful golden face. He's got the black on his neck there. I wonder if I can make Charlie, Alicia, can you just unmute for a second so that we can see and just talk for a second so we bring Charlie up on the
You got me?
on the screen?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
So did everyone see Charlie for a second there? Yeah. I'll unmute you again. I'll mute you now, Alicia. Thank you, Charlie. We're looking at the wisdom that comes from when the body but the body is a vehicle that can bring us a lot of things, and for a dog can bring them a lot of joy, a lot of play, a lot of friendship. And then as the body begins to slow down, a reevaluation of life occurs. And so we're looking at the wisdom that is integrated into the heart when that shift happens with the body, when the body is not able to be the vehicle that it was relied upon from before. And this is what we call individuation consciousness, the journey from head knowing and knowledge, so all the knowledge that you've learned integrating into wisdom in the heart. And this includes releasing different belief systems around self-esteem and perception. So as a human, it's that, ideas about who we think we are and how we perceive ourselves, unburdening. So unburdening from other people's projections and our own kind of ideas about life, open-mindedness, opening up, and perhaps we can think about our dogs and their form of open-mindedness that they might offer us or lack. If they're not open-minded, the dogs might be conveying that as well, but we're wanting to shift that any rigidity in the system that might be closing your world in a little around you. And synthesis, which is the ability to break things down and to create new things. So it's the cycle, the wheel of life, breaking things down, allowing energy for the new. So if there's any ideas or concepts that pop up around those, just run them through your mind, see what pops up. It might be in relation to yourself, it might be in relation to your dog. And perhaps lock into one thing that you can think about each of your dogs, if you've got multiple, one thing that you can learn about that dog's wisdom. They might offer you something unique that you can learn from them, from having them in your life. So just consider what that wisdom of your dog is, something that perhaps you want to nurture in yourself. And if you feel like sharing that in the chat, you can. We're going to prepare to tap this out. So if you'd like to put a hand over your heart, and then we're going to go through the 5 senses. So hand over your eyes. And just have a subtle focus on yourself, but also on your dog or on your dog in spirit. So this is for yourself as well as for them. And creating that connection between the eyes and the heart. And then when you've got that connection, releasing one of the hands and tapping out over the top of the head. Continuing to take big, deep breaths. And tapping out over the heart. And tapping out over the navel. Hand over the nose. Focus on yourself, focus on your dog. And we're doing all of this to help anchor into the present moment. And tapping over the top of the head. Taking big, deep breaths. Tapping over the heart. Tapping over the navel. Connecting to the mouth, mouth to heart. And when you feel you've got that connection, we're going to tap over the head, the heart, and the navel again, just making sure you're taking big, deep breaths. You can tap in your own time, in your own rhythm. If you feel like tapping for longer, you can as well. The next one, we're going to connect to the skin, to the sense of touch. And just with each sense that we're going through, just noticing that connection that you have to yourself and the environment. And we're going to do the tapping over the head, heart, and the navel when you're ready. And we're connecting to the ears. And tapping over the head, heart, and the navel again. Continuing to take big, deep, slow breaths. You might notice your breath starting to deepen and slow right down. When you finish that tapping, closing your eyes, taking another big deep breath, connecting to your environment with all of your senses, noticing what you might hear, what you're tasting, smelling, any shapes you see behind your eyes, any sensations you feel outside or inside your body. And sensing this merging of yourself and your environment, perhaps noticing where you think you begin, where you end, and perhaps expanding further into the environment. And with those senses, sensing your dog's presence, whether in person or in spirit. And continuing to breathe into the heart and the belly. And just notice if you're receiving any impressions, whether that be or a shape, a color, a sound, a word, a feeling, any impression that you receive from your animal. Just notice whatever comes up, the first thing that you receive. There's no right or wrong with the process. Okay, so in this state of being, I'm going to finish the session for us all. I know the impression that I received from Raj was that he was very happy that we were all calm. And you can see that he's very calm on Andrew's lap there. Andrew's very calm as well. And I do feel like asking you what impression you received, but I also don't want to distract you from that sense of calm that you're in right now. So I'm going to finish the recording here. So disconnecting from, thanks, Jackie. Jackie said you're calm. Yeah, all your animals are calm now. So I'm going to stop the recording here. If Charlie's tucking everyone to bed, yeah.